Hey, what's up, everybody? In this video tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a motion study for our spur gear assembly. All right. So first thing we have to do is oops, I already left that up there. You have to come out and verify that you have the correct joints and you have a motion link, okay, that's going to be connecting these joints. So if you came out here to our Revolut and we animate the joint relationships, we're going to see that that is actually working. At this time, make sure that the directions are right. Remember, when it comes to a gear train like this, they're going to be in the reverse operation. All right. They're not going to be spinning in the same direction. All right, so coming out here, we're going to come up and go to assembly, go into motion study. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up. We're going to be selecting on the joint that's going to be moving the fastest. So in our case, okay, this Revolut here is connected to that small spur gear. We'd be picking on that. Now we can come out here and we can pick on this line and we can say, take this to step 100. Okay, and now we have to start figuring out, okay, what our angle is going to be. So last time we did this was a pulley mechanism. We know that 6 turns was 2,160 degrees. I'm going to drop the speed down. I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button. All right. It looks like that's moving pretty quick, but I think it's going to work just fine. All right. So we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do a save on that. Okay. Once that has been saved, we're going to come over into our rendering environment. And the first thing we're going to do is bring this to sort of full screen and make sure we can kind of see everything that's happening within that mechanism. We can see both those spur gears. And what we have to do first is come out here and go to our scene settings. Make sure that the color you are selecting is like an off-white color, okay, maybe down into a light grays. We're going to say okay. And also make sure we have ground plane on as well as reflections. Switching over to our environment library, now's the time when you can go ahead and drag in and drop your favorite sort of lighting. So you can see I've selected grid, but if we want to bring grid in, our grid light, we're just dragging and dropping it onto the scene, and we can go ahead and close. Okay, now we are set and ready to go to render this. So we're going to come up here to the teapot. We're going to be making sure this is set to mobile 2048 by 1536 cloud render. We're going to go with final. We can see it's giving us no red flags. Okay, so that's when we can go ahead and render this by hitting the render button. Okay, once that has fully rendered, what we're going to be seeing is going to be something that is going to look, let's see if I can get it here, is going to look like this still shot here. Okay, if you have correctly done a motion study, what you're going to be seeing is that we now have this option right here. It's going to allow us to render the motion study. It's going to give it a name. The render quality you want is standard, but our image size is too large. Okay, so it's going to be requiring too much for our cloud credits. Go ahead and drop that down to 800 by 600. You're going to be good to go. And now you can go ahead and hit the blue render button. Okay, once it has rendered that, you're going to be looking at is something like this. We hit the play button and we should be seeing those gears are actually moving. It's going to look a little choppy. All right. In the preview, it's definitely going to look choppy, but once it gets into video format, it's going to look pretty good. So all that you have to do at this point in order to download it is come up here to the download button and you're going to download the motion study as a video. It's going to take it just a couple seconds. And you're going to see you can save this somewhere. So I would go ahead and put in your first last name. In this case, it's going to be the spur gear mechanism. You can go ahead and save that as an MP4, and that's the MP4 that you're going to be turning into Google Classroom. So there you go. That is how we create the motion study animation video for the spur gear mechanism.